Well, we got some news at 11 a.m., and I'm awake for it. That's pretty wild. Russell Westbrook is signing with the Clippers. He's getting bought out by the Jazz, and I think what you immediately have to think about is just the fit there. And, well, here's the thing, man. Kawhi and PG have the ball a lot. And ever since overhauling their point guard position, Terrence Mann has handled the ball a little bit more. Norm Powell and Eric Gordon have it as well a bit. And, Kawhi and PG, they're going to get there. I mean, real quick, obviously the health is the biggest thing with those two. We all get that. But, and by the way, Kawhi has played almost every game since early January. And for the most part, he's looked great. Those two do have some off-ball action sprinkled in for them, where they're coming across screens off-ball. But a lot of the time, those guys are cooking off of screens. They're cooking from mid-range, and those guys are really good. But you just think about in the half court how Russ is going to play off of that. And, teams are going to dare him to make jump shots. We just saw it with the Lakers. And, okay, now, look, obviously in terms of transition, Westbrook's going to give him a lot. He's going to attack the boards. He's going to run some actions with the Zubats and Plumlee. I would imagine, just some simple pick and rolls. And if he's going up against second units, I would like to believe that he could have success there. He can kick it out to Covington if Covington is going to be getting minutes like that, because it's been a little up and down for him all season. If he can kick it out to Morris and just whatever the bench lineups for the Clippers are going to be. They got a lot of good players, of course. Then, okay, cool. But when he's playing with Kawhi and PG, and they're in the half court, just what is that going to look like, and how can you get the best version out of Russ? Because again, Kawhi and PG, they're going to have the ball a lot. I guess another interesting thing, and this is more so a question I had with this team even before Westbrook showed up as of 10 minutes ago, is the balance between going with the small lineups versus Zubats and Plumlee. I think it was decently telling that they acquired another center, you know what I mean? I don't think this is going to be a Houston Rockets after trading Capella situation where it's all right, we got Russ, let's go super small ball. They're going to keep their centers out there, you know what I mean? So in terms of just the spacing and all that, because of course Russ, the best version of him is getting downhill consistently and all that. But another thing with this team, and I guess I am jumping the gun a little bit because I did plan on doing I still plan on it, a Western Conference contenders look, basically. I think a big question with this team, besides the biggest one of Kawhi and PG's health, is do they have enough downhill juice from their role players? Because, of course, Kawhi and PG, they like to get their mid-range on, their jump shots on, they're really good at it, but the Clippers, they're middle of the pack in free throws per game. They are towards the bottom of the league in shots per game at the rim, in the paint, but not right at the rim. And granted, some of their numbers are going to be skewed because Kawhi and PG have missed games and all that, but my question would be, Norm Powell, Terrence Mann, two guys who can attack off the catch. Can they get that consistently enough? Of course, you're still going to have to take threes and all that, don't get me wrong. Eric Gordon, also a guy who had shown that he can attack off the catch. When in my trade deadline video, I just said he can make 30-footers, which that's true. I should have also included Eric Gordon, the best version of him, has had some downhill juice off the catch, right? And so, can Westbrook become another piece in that? I think that's going to be the hope, on top of sprinkling in some pick and rolls with him and Zubats and Plumlee and that sort of thing. Is there potential for actions involved with him and Kawhi and PG directly? I suppose so, but just some screen actions. Not that I expect Westbrook to set screens like that, because we've had that conversation enough times here. Of course, the big thing is Russ, please make shots. Can you make at least the threes you're going to attempt, or the elbow jumper bank shots that you're going to go for? Of course. But also, is it possible for the Clippers to just position him somewhere on the court to where he can just have more attempts at the rim and all that? Again, when playing off of Kawhi and PG, that's just going to be the biggest thing, pretty much. I imagine that I haven't looked at it because I immediately went to do my video, but I imagine that the tone around this is going to be pretty cynical. And look, I think it would be cool to see Westbrook be on one team for the last third of his career, I guess, and for it to be a really, really good fit. So that's really all I got. To think about the other teams who were rumored here, there was the Bulls, there was the Wizards, and I could have pictured either one of those, because in the case of the Bulls, it was well, they don't have their pick and they didn't trade their guys, so at that point, just, throw a Hail Mary. Maybe Russ just brings some more juice to the team, attacks the basket, and attacks in transition like a madman. We already saw him do pretty well for a chunk of a season with the Wizards when they kind of just let him be him pretty much. I thought that's where we were going with this, to be honest. But the one thing for the Clippers' sake here is they didn't trade anything for him. They're not paying him a whole bunch of money. He just got his money from the Jazz, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly what the contract is, but I imagine it's not going to be super duper high here. So for what all that's worth, I don't know. But Yeah, it's going to be an adventure. I guess this is sort of like the cherry on top of the craziness of the deadline.